The Chicago Bulls have confirmed that Michael Jordan will announce his retirement.
I told Phil, I said, look, I'm about here. I was done. I have no motivation.
You guys know the drill by now. We're about 10 minutes out of episode 7 and 8 of The Last Dance. What you're about to see is my live reaction. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys thought of the 2 episodes. Other than that, enjoy. I'm starting to get it's so good, but I'm starting to get depressed because I know it's coming to an end. I was genuinely just getting sad. I'm not gonna lie to you. 7 and 8 were up there for some of my favorites. I don't know why, but I really enjoyed those past 2 episodes.
Yeah, probably the 2 of the better ones that they've put out. I mean,
I found myself staring at the screen, attached for the full 60 minutes of each episode. Just so good, man.
Oh my god, where do we even start?
Bro, I want to start. So let's start with episode 7, guys. And they kind of started us with Michael's relationship with his dad. And it is, they make a very good point that in every photo you see, there's Michael and then there's his dad. Whenever they won the championship, his dad was there. His dad was, his best friend. So obviously, I haven't read that much. I've only ever read a little bit into Michael, how his dad, but I didn't know it was that bad. I didn't know they weren't able to find him for that long.
Yeah, I didn't know it was 3 weeks. It was 3 weeks.
It's awful, man. That's absolutely awful. But yeah, so they kind of they talked to us at first about his relationship with his dad, and they kind of give us the awful news, and just, the way Michael's just able to stay strong through that, man, and his mom is something else. And then, of course, the news comes out after they win the 3rd one that, Jordan's considering. I really like the point where they talk to us about how, I think it was his best friend who says Jordan told him if Magic and Bird hadn't already won 2 and there wasn't that, dream team, he was ready to retire after the summer of 92.
Yeah.
I thought that was super cool.
That, not a lot, I don't think anybody really knew that story or that happened.
Yeah.
Because everybody, like they said, their speculation was just because of the gambling and all that, and he was suspended. But the fact that he said that during the Olympics to somebody being if I wasn't going for a 3rd to tie Magic and Larry, then I would be gone and I'd be playing baseball right now.
Yeah, no, it's crazy that Magic and Larry had 2 in a row and he had to go get 3. It just shows the mindset of Michael Jordan. The way the news of his retirement came out, I didn't know that it came out at a White Sox game. That sounds like an absolute, what that kind of reminds me of? Reminds me of when Andrew Luck's retirement broke during the Colts preseason game.
Yeah.
And Luck was on the sidelines. That looked like an absolute disaster.
Yeah, I didn't know that that's how it broke either, that it was just in the middle of a White Sox game, yep, by the way, he's done.
That's crazy. I can't even imagine, in this day and age, social media this day and age, the news, I know obviously it was massive back then. They showed all the reporters and people showing up from everywhere, but could you imagine on social media? It's just mind-blowing. But of course, so Zach, you're gonna love this. My television went out for 5-10 minutes, right? Fucking Spectrum screwed me over. So I missed the beginning portion of when, he signed with the White Sox or their minor league team, and then he kind of, practiced with them and played a little bit. So I totally missed that, which pisses me off. So if there's anything you need to fill me in, I know there was it Terry Francona that made the quote, if he had 1,500 at bats, he thinks he could have made the major leagues?
Yeah, and it wasn't even just Terry, it was Jerry Reinsdorf as well, saying that if Jordan would have stuck with baseball after during a strike where they had the minor leaguers come up to the majors and all that, then he would easily stay in the majors no matter what. Jordan, I saw something, it was Jordan hitting above 200 and having 50 RBIs while being out of the game for over a decade and playing a completely different sport is probably one of the most outstanding sport stats and accomplishments you can say.
So my question to you, because again, I missed this portion. Do you think Michael Jordan would have came back to basketball if there was no strike, or no? because he started coming to the practices right because the strike.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments down below. What do you guys think? Do you think the strike was a major factor in Jordan returning? And then so, the whole baseball thing turned into, Michael's return. And of course, while Michael was playing baseball, we learned, my dad had actually told me this a couple years ago, but I'd never seen the video footage of when Pippen refused to go into the game. It was a playoff game as well, right?
Yeah, it was playoffs against the, no, not Magic.
Who was it against?
Somebody.
Was it against? We're blank. You guys let us know. I'm sure. Yeah, we literally just watched it. But they draw it up for Kukoc. He hits the shot. Imagine if he hadn't hit the shot. That's the thing. He hits the shot, and then of course all the shit with Scotty. But it was cool to hear that that Scotty apologized and stuff like that. But I thought that was really, really interesting because like they said, that's just so unlike Pippen.
Yeah, the thing that I loved about 8 was BJ. I think it was BJ being on the Magic and just the story of BJ Armstrong. I mean, that just goes to show BJ went up and just hit that shot and just shrugged his shoulder, basically did the MJ shrug to the Bulls. And that was a big no-no.
That was all. And then, on to speak on what Zack just said, the LeBradford story, or LeBradford Smith, or whatever his name is, the story about, that was completely false, but MJ, Michael needed that to push himself to motivate him. It's just, his mindset is just like anything I've ever seen. I mean, it's wild. It's so cool to get the insight of what he thinks and how, his brain works. I think it's so damn cool.
Yeah, and another big thing that took me away was after Pippen sat, Bill Cartwright, I think it was, had that speech, and it was either Bill or BJ, one of those had the speech in there.
Yeah, I think you're right. It was Bill Cartwright.
And he just I knew Bill Cartwright growing up since I was 3 or 4 years old, because I watched film and just my mom shoots free throws Bill Cartwright. He has a very distinct free throw, and it's just all different stuff. And I never knew Cartwright had that big of a role come the Bulls. I mean, you think of the Bulls, you think Rodman, Pippen, Kukoc, Horace, Jordan, Kerr, really, and maybe BJ, but Cartwright had a big role. And I think if Cartwright didn't do that, then Pippen would never have done what he did, and we might not have seen Jordan come back.
Happen. Yeah, I think we could both agree seeing Jordan in 45 is just so weird. I just doesn't look good on the eyes. It just messed with me to see him in 45. It's cool to see him drop 55 in Madison Square Garden, though.
Yeah, I do want to ask you this, Matt. I remember before the Last Dance even aired, MJ said that he is regretting doing this because it's going to affect how people think of him, and in a bad way. Has the Last Dance portrayed MJ in a bad way in your opinion?
Not at all. I don't understand that quote from MJ. I don't know. If anything, I think people have a new love and just appreciation for him. This just beyond, his greatness goes so much beyond just his what he does on the basketball court, his mindset, maybe it's the way he pushed his teammates. Again, there was no footage. I was hoping we were going to see footage of when he punched Kerr. But I don't think so. Not at all. If anything, I think a lot of people, after, I know MJ's retirement speech was a bit, people didn't like it, and he's kind of viewed as after it's kind of viewed as a dick. Obviously the whole Kobe and the way he was at Kobe's memorial was incredible. But if anything, I think I like Michael Jordan 20 times more than I did. Obviously I respected him and I consider him the greatest player of all time, but I feel like I have more of a connection with Michael Jordan after the last 4 weeks than I've ever had in my life.
Yeah, that's what I saw that and I was just I was very concerning about it, and the closest thing that I could see was Jordan saying what he did about his rookie year and the players in the hotel and just the way he was at practices. But that's just who Jordan was, and I definitely don't think that gave him a bad name or a bad rep for anybody.
The way, like you said, the way he was filming Space Jam, and then working out in his free 2 hours, and then scrimmaging with some of the best players in the league. at nighttime, it's just, you know, I nothing but just greatness, man.
Yeah. What are your expectations going into, unfortunately, the last week next week?
I don't know. So I guess we have the 97 season, the 98 season, right? That's it? That's all we have left?
I think so, yeah.
I know there was a preview for the last 2 episodes. I didn't watch it because we were coming down to record this, but you know, so in the 98 season, we're in the Eastern Conference Finals, which I believe is this is going to be an incredible series against the Pacers. I'm sure we'll go back to the 97 and kind of follow that along, but I'm not ready for this to be over, Zach. Like, I'm not, man. Like, I thought when I first saw 10 parts, I think like a lot of other people were like, how are they going to make this 10 parts and make it so entertaining? But like I just said at the beginning of this, episodes 7 and 8, I would go as far as saying were my 2 favorite episodes. And I know a lot of people might disagree with me, but I was in my seat, dude. I was so into it the entire time. And I'm not ready for it to be over, but we'll see, Zach. I guess we have one more of these guys. Thank you so much for watching, Zach. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Oh, it's all good.
Thank you so much for coming. I'll leave Zach's link down below. And until next week, make sure you guys do drop a like and subscription. We'll see you guys soon. Peace.